we go.
There we are already. You can see it.
I think so, yeah.
Hey everyone. Hi. This is my podcast of Living and Dying. And I have a guest today. And I'm like, this? Because today is going to be about a topic that I can't control. And I love controlling things and managing things, but not today. I invited Sophie Josephina, who's going to introduce herself in a second. I just felt like I should kind of sing your name, like the Jason Derulo. I should just go like, Sophie Josephina. Some kind of awesome entry, because you are like the inspiration of my days these days. And that's why I needed to have you here and talk to you a bit. I'm going to pass it over to you. Who are you?
I am just so happy to be here, Svenja. You are, I love being in your energy and getting to know you, and just all the wisdom and all the and juice that's living in you. It's just been amazing to witness. Yeah, so my name is Sophie Josephina, and I call myself a polarity teacher, and I work with both large groups of men and of women on really healing these internal energies of masculine and feminine. And I work on that with people within themselves, between each other, but also between ourselves and what I like to call Sky Daddy. So between us and the cosmos, and really see how we can play with masculine and feminine energies in our business, in money, in manifestation, in our love. And I'm actually an ex-data scientist who transitioned into this work just before the pandemic hit, so a year and a half ago. And my business exploded from day one. And also what we're going to talk about today is that I've had quite a journey with my body and all of this. So while I used to be a data scientist, I had my body just kind of collapsed on me. And I wasn't living I wasn't working in a very toxic work environment. It wasn't necessarily that bad, but I was living the life that I should. And I remember this so well. I was living the life that I should. And I was living the life that I think we tell women they should be like. And I thought I was everything that a woman should be. I thought I had done everything that the feminists told me to do. And I couldn't sustain it. I was exhausted. I was completely depleted by the age of 25, 26. My body truly completely collapsed. I think by the end of it, I had an epileptic attack every 48 hours because I just could not return to my old life. And it was in that journey that I learned about masculine feminine energies, of what is that actually? What does it mean to be feminine? Because unbeknownst to me, I'd been in a very masculine energy my entire life. I was the strong, independent woman. I had my shit together. I didn't need anybody. I was the boss babe. I was all of that. And I could not, it just didn't give me energy. And it doesn't mean that I've gotten rid of that part of myself, but I've balanced it now with a deeply feminine energy of nourishment and experiencing and leaning back and just way more softness, I think, than what I used to have. And so I live a very different life now. And it doesn't mean that I'm all of a sudden healthy and everything has been fixed. I still have lots of stuff with my health, and this is really what I think I inadvertently am becoming a role model of. I am extremely successful, even though I am sick as fuck. And anybody else probably with my physical situation would say, oh my God, I have failed. There's nothing I can do with my life. And my life just keeps on getting better and better and better. And so I'm really playing with this thought, or this idea that we don't have to like always feel good and have our shit together and be on top of it to be thriving. And I think we're really waking up to a whole new way of leading, a body first leading, a feminine way of leading. So that's a little bit of what's happening in my life. Long introduction.
Beautiful introduction. Wow. I love to see your cat sneaking in behind you.
I know, she's being so naughty.
Hi. I just muted myself because my dogs were sneaking on up and entering the couch, and they always take part. That's so beautiful. Um, I have like 1,000 questions. I'm gonna start with the one because I didn't know that you also only started like 1.5 years ago, and my ego's like, ah, she started at the same time I did. Why? And the one thing that at least people ask me, because I have a very similar story, not very similar, but yeah, the total body breakdown while I was telling myself I'm leading the life I'm supposed to be leading. Like, I worked for this, I studied 5 years at university for this, and that is the reason why I'm gonna keep on being unhappy, you know. But no, you just, yeah, you told so beautifully just now that there was like, you built up this life, that successful female life, you know, that I don't need anyone. I'm the, we have a German saying, I'm not gonna say it, but it basically means that you're like, you're giving milk, you're giving butter, you're providing the meat, you're like and the wool and everything. You can do everything, you don't need anyone. And that just brings you, like, makes you an island. And then to go on through your life and defending that you're this island, that you're like, well, everything's fine, I've got my shit together, and your body just saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. What was the moment where you realize like something really needs to change? I can't go on like this.
Yeah, so I had a dark night of the soul. So I was at the top of my career by the age 25. I had like finished my studies cum laude at like 20, and was at this amazing new field in the world, data science, and I was really on top of it. And I had, in probably the space of 3 weeks, my mother passed away, my relationship of 5 years, and my dog died, and I got some very weird illnesses at the same time that looked very scary. So that happened probably in the same 3 weeks. And I was 25. So like losing my mom felt really, that was really like, I didn't realize, I thought I was an adult at that time, but I still really needed her. And so everything just crumbled. I remember laughing at times thinking, what just happened? It's not just one thing. It just kept, like, the dog dying. I'll never forget. I was like, really? That was needed.
That movie.
Yeah, it was just, it became comical almost at some point. And it was, I think, in the breaking apart, in hitting rock bottom, that it kind of opened my eyes. It opened my eyes also because my mother wasn't very old when she passed. I thought, wow, if I become as old as she is, I am halfway there. This is already the halfway point. Is this what I want to be doing? Actually, I'd be a little bit disappointed if this continued to be my life. And I just remember it felt a little bit as if I had been raised in a certain religion with a certain God, and all of a sudden I took the glasses off, I saw that God didn't exist. And the whole kind of everything that I based my life on, I'm like studying really hard, working really hard, getting a good job, you know, having a good career, I realized it wasn't fulfilling me at all. And I would be really disappointed if that was another 5 years of my life, if that was another 10 years of my life, if that was another 30 years of my life. And I think because of my dark night of the soul, I was given no other choice but to rebuild. And I think that's why sometimes hitting rock bottom or any of that is a blessing. Like I still find it very sad that all those things happened to me, but now looking back at it, it was a death and rebirth in that moment. It was so extreme that it shook everything that I thought was true. I remember losing my friends. Like I was the first out of my friend group to have lost a parent. And so a lot of people didn't know how to relate to me anymore. So I lost a lot of friends. And of course, I'd lost my relation. Everybody that was close to me was all of a sudden gone in the space of 2 weeks. And so it felt like a death and a rebirth. And in that rebirth, I think I went inward instead of always outward. I was actually raised in Tantra. So I just remember I had a massive burnout after that, of just going back to my roots and going back to like the books and the songs and the rituals I was raised in, and now as an adult and seeing the richness that was in there. And I traveled a bit, and I just kept following my fuck yes, is what I call that. So I didn't think anymore about what was the smart decision or what was the seminar I should take or what was the certification I should get. I just thought, okay, where do I want to be? I apparently really want to go to Thailand. Okay, let's go to Thailand and we'll see what happens there when we get there. And yeah, I think because so much of my structures just disappeared in such a short span, I got to reinvent myself, which was this very strange blessing in disguise. Yeah.
When you were raised in Tantra, meaning that you were brought up with these things. Oh, that's so beautiful. And yet, that's what people always told me, like you were raised in shamanism and you didn't realize what was going on. Like, how does that work? You have your blind spots. We're all telling ourselves that we're okay because that's like the only way to not feel that it's not okay. So we're such big storytellers, and I love the way you're just, you know, you have a truth in reflecting on people, that when you repeat those words, you just directly see through what the stories that you're telling yourself. So that's what I really love about yourself. And yet it's like, it's so good to realize that we're all so blind for ourselves. Like nobody can or is able, you're not able to coach yourself. It's not working. No, never. And you can be in these roots. You can have these roots, you can be in these backgrounds, and it's not I mean, you're nourished by it and you take it, and it's the way you're opening up to the world. But it doesn't mean that shit is in order when you grow up, that everything works out fine and you realize, oh, look, no, it doesn't mean that. So I love that, because I think sometimes people think if I have some kind of advantage by that. Like I've had something they didn't have, and I have tools they don't have. I have, like, the sweat lodge is my room of prayer. That's like my holy ceremonial room. And that is like, it's a church. So I have my tools, and it still doesn't keep me sane. It still doesn't keep my body healthy. It's doesn't mean, all these things where we say, if I don't have that, I can't. This is all the things that I like to break up, because if I don't have a healthy body, I can not have a successful business. If I don't have my shit in order, how should I coach anyone? It's like, we all start at this point telling us these things and then realizing that's so not true. Like, it's sinking in, and it's a journey. And it's so important that that we all stop setting up these goals that we need to reach before we can ... like earn $1 million, be a successful coach, whatever. Yeah.
If I can say something about what you just said. So I for me, it was a very important turning point. So after my dark night, so I had a burnout. My body would create all these illnesses, and I would go back to the doctor and back to the doctor. And I was in the spiritual scene. I was in the conscious community, and people would speak to me very much to that all my illnesses and all the issues my body was showing up was trauma related. And if I just dealt with my traumas, I would be okay. And I'm not saying there's no truth in that, but how I heard that was I should be doing better. And this is kind of my own fault. If I would just look at my traumas, I wouldn't be this sick. And that's something I really want to speak into, because my body's not doing anything wrong. It's not a sickness and illness doesn't always come out of misalignment. I was just born with a certain constellation in my body, and it comes to fruition. You have the same things, like there's a genetic component to what I have, and it's just bad luck. And it doesn't always mean that there's something out of alignment or there's something wrong. Illness to me is not always a sign of wrong. Mm-hmm. And so it's also the same with and I honor this man super, but like somebody like Joe Dispenza, I remember people giving me that book and just saying, Sophie, just meditate, that the nerves are coming back and everything will be fine. And I felt pressure to create a miracle. I felt like I had the pressure to perform a miracle because one man did it in a book and showed that it's possible. And it doesn't mean that I discount it. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to a miracle ever happening to my body, but I'm not giving myself the pressure that if I just meditate hard enough, I'm going to grow something back that my body never made in the first place. Like somebody who was born with 4 fingers, we also don't say, just think back. the fifth
Yes.
finger, and
Wonderful.
it'll come. Right. So a lot of the process for me was to set myself completely free of all the things that remake illness and sickness and just bodies mean. I mean, spiritual people also die, right? Like they also get sick, their bodies also wither, right? Because we are human and we're on this planet, and it's just part of our journey that there's a body that has its own process.
Yeah.
And so in a weird way, I very much honor my body, and I don't fully define myself with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, I'm ill, and it's also not the only thing I am.
That's like, if we say, I want to live polarity, can't say I want to live health and not sickness. You can't have one thing without the other. And I think soul comes, soul appears, and soul says, I want intensity. And what better way is there to create intensity in your life than to struggle for your life, realize what is inside of you that can fight, and then also realize what's inside of you that can let go, that can say. And that's like what I take away from my near-death experiences too. It's like, don't take it too seriously. Like dying is so easy. It's so easy. You just have to let go. That's not the struggle. Going back into this little messy, chaotic life where you need to earn money, need to be successful, need to make relationships work. That's the struggle. Like, and I can always choose whether I want to take part in the struggle and experience life, or whether I want to go back and just be soul, because that's easy. We all know how to do it. I know we all don't remember how to do it, but we all know how to do it. And that's like, how can you create more intensity in your life than to have a sick body that always gives you that gives you direction, that shows your mind, no, you actually have no clue how to do it. You're trying your best, but the intelligence is not in your mind. Yeah. The feeling of, I could so relate to you saying that if you're sick, it's your fault. Like, it's not even a responsibility. It's like some part of you chose this for whatever reason, and it's not important to find the reason. It's important to enjoy the fucking ride, like to enjoy the ups and enjoy the downs. And that's again polarity, right? Living the sickness. How do you how do you create your day, or how do you create your business? I do have a lot of coaches in my network, and they just, I think they love to be inspired because nobody's got their shit in order. So how do you let your body create your business?
Yeah, I love that question. I also have ADHD, and I that was recently diagnosed, and that gave me a massive permission slip to actually honor the way my brain works, the way my body works, and to create the structures that support that. And I realized that I had spent an entire life trying to force myself into a mold that didn't fit. I thought I should, because I should be able to go to my job 9 to 6, right? I should be, and I couldn't. And every day I couldn't, I would beat myself up. I thought, why can't I? I should, I'm so weak, whatever. Like I would beat myself up constantly for not being able to fit in the societal standards, when actually there's lots of us that don't fit in societal standards. And to actually create the structures that support you rather than make you fit into the structures, that is such an important job. So I, for instance, things I do is no meetings before 12.
Yeah.
I have massive brain fog in the morning. My body has a rough time during the night. I am not good in the morning. I need a few hours to just detox and get here and all of that. It takes me a while. So no meetings before 12. The other thing is I only do one call a day. I will not do more calls than that, because here's the thing. It's really about starting to listen to yourself and not making it wrong. So I've just noticed where my limits are, in the sense, I don't even want to call them limits, but where my preferences are of when I feel tired, when something takes away energy. I used to do 3 private clients in a day, and by the end I would be so depleted, even though I love and adore my clients. I was like, something's not right here. Okay, apparently that type of energy, I am in my zone of genius if I do that once a day. I love not having meetings. So I need space in my calendar where there's nothing planned. So I have to say no to a lot of things. And it's not because I don't want to do them. It's because at the end of the day, it's not my fuck yes. It's not serving me. It's not lighting me up if I force myself to do all the things.
Yeah.
So these are a few things I do. I am terrible at replying to emails. ADHD trait. I can't, I've never been good at this. I'm just always terrible at replying, honestly. I have a wonderful team that does that for me, right? I have a wonderful team that picks that up, that I literally say, hey, I forget to reply to emails. Let me know if there's something I need to do or if you can do it. And the other thing with like being ill is honestly giving myself the permission that I sometimes need to move things last minute. And even though we all think that, or we have an idea that that's not okay, that's not professional, that's not allowed. I've actually, for the majority of the times I've had to do that, it's been a wonderful, loving experience. And people said, wow, thank you, Sophie, because it actually gave me permission to do that in my life. And I've had people that said, well, that's not okay. I never want to work with you again. I've had that too. But here's the thing, I can't be anything else than what I am. There's something unpredictable. Like this is the feminine. There's something unpredictable about our bodies. I can't tell you exactly when my body's going to be ill or in pain. I sometimes know it a little bit, but I can't always plan for it. And so it sometimes means that I have to move or cancel things last minute, and to actually stand in my power and not make myself wrong and not go into shame as that happens has been such a powerful journey, because I think, especially leading from a female body, but from a feminine body, that we are cyclical, right? I am there, like when I'm in my moon, I'm a very different person. For me, I have endometriosis. If I'm in a severe pain, like there's no way I could show up to life then. So how can we start honoring that? Can it be okay that we move things? Personally, when people move things on me, I really don't mind. I have no contraction. I just think, okay, cool. I just got a free hour in my day. Amazing. I don't mind. Like I have no contraction around that. And there's other people like me. And so I think there's a lot of things in what we think about leading a business that we think are the ways that it should be, and that everybody has agreed it should be. Like you have to be consistent, you have to show up to every meeting. And I think in my journey, I've been forced to challenge that and to see that they're not necessarily true. And it's not consistency over a body. And here's the thing, like I don't work a lot. I work a few hours a week. My business is extremely successful and always has been. I am not consistent in any way, shape, or form. My social media, I'll not post for a month and then do 3 posts in a day. Like that's just how I've always been. And I'm successful because we don't have to fit into this mold. We don't have to. I think it's truly how your energy works. When you actually are in the zone of where how your energy just wants to flow, you will be supported, whatever way that looks like. Because I think that's actually, I like to call it Sky Daddy. I think that's what Sky Daddy or life wants from you, is to be the fullest expression of you. And so if in your world that means inconsistency, and that's truly how your energy wants to move, that only creates more abundance, that only creates more wealth.
Yeah. Wow. Where do I want to go into? First of all, you don't have to explain Sky Daddy to anyone, I think, because people know. My people know, at least. The authors, and sickness also has this touch of specialness for me, and I think that's where it gets juicy. We start telling our stories and feeling the pride that comes with it, and the joy of having something to tell where everybody's going to listen. Like, I'm so special. I survived 2 near-death experiences. I didn't have only one. I had 2 near-death experiences. Like writing a book on that, this story enabling me or allowing me to be a coach and to tell people something about life and death and blah. I think it is a big thing to identify through this sickness and stop doing that. Because, I mean, for me, this sickness meant that I could show up in a way of me getting my life in order. That was perfect. Like my masculine coming, saying, you don't have anything, I'm going to take over. That was perfect. Thank you so much. And also it was the war for my life. So I got to fight. Like my name translated is the warrior. And that's what I did, like basically my whole life. And that was like the ultimate experience for me to fight for my life against something. And I noticed throughout this journey then that whenever I stopped fighting, when I would leave the battlefield, peace would come in. Like everything would start to fall into place when I got out of it. And it's so, I don't often talk about sickness. People ask me often, but I don't often talk about it. And probably if you would have asked me if I want to talk on it, I would have said no, because I talked a lot about it. And every time I speak about it, I identify myself with this sickness. And I'm not at a place where I'm going to say enjoy and hope it doesn't tickle you in a way. I can't enjoy my sick body the way you do it. I can surrender to it. I can let it take the lead. I can lie down. I can just, cuddle up with dogs, spending time, blah, blah. And I'm going to beat myself up for it for the rest of the day. Like I do it, but I don't do it in a, oh yeah, there I go again. I do it in a, okay, I'm going to give this to you because I can't do anything else. So this is like where I am. I'm kind of scared that when I go into enjoying it, like letting it take over, that it's going to be such a big part of my life. Yeah. And I don't say yes to this. I say yes to the sickness. I say yes to my past. I say yes to everything that came out of, because it made me who I am, right? It made me quit school. It made me quit the safe job. It gave me permission to blah. Okay, so, and Corona as well. So thank you, Corona too, because nothing would have happened if these two catastrophes hadn't happened, right? So yeah, this is where my gratefulness is and ends. So I have this, I'm not okay with this being my fate. So I'm still trying to find out, am I struggling? Is that something, or is it just, I like to say, I like to go with, it's my decision to not have this accompany me and lead me through life. It's like, as you said, the feminine coming and saying, you need to feel, not even more, you need to start feeling, you need to start getting into the balance. And this is how I teach you to, and it worked out. But I don't see this being my fate. And I have an awesome, there's one expert for my sickness that's called Evans syndrome. And it's like a 1 in a million sickness. So no, there's one expert in Germany, and he's had like 18 cases. So yeah, he's the expert. Yeah, okay. I'm so special. Nobody can help me. Yeah, the princess. Anyways, he said, listen, you've had this, like it started when you were 26. It came out of nowhere. It can go back to nowhere. And something inside me just went, yeah. And another voice came up saying, you don't take my sickness. You don't get to take my excuse. You don't get to take my reason. You don't get to take my specialness. And all these voices in your head. And I find it so juicy to talk about it, because it's so shadowy around this topic. And if we speak on it, like it goes boom, and it just, yeah, it gets freed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're talking about something so beautiful, that on the one hand, we, especially when we're so ill, that I think it's a lifelong journey, maybe for everybody, regardless of your health, of actually accepting your fate, actually accepting it. Like how many people are actually doing that they think, okay, this is just the cards I've been dealt, and I accept that. And at the same time, this is also what I meant when I felt the pressure for a miracle, is to always leave the option open for the miracle. And that's a very interesting like balance to be in. Like, how can I not make myself responsible for creating a miracle in my body, but always leave the option open that it could just be gone tomorrow? And would I actually be okay with that? Right? There's a gift in everything. there's a gift in there's a gift in illness. This illness gives me something, of course. Like for me, what does it give me? It gives me a reason to take a step back, because I probably wouldn't if I wasn't sick. I'm very type A. I would just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. So
there's a very structural quality to your sickness as well.
what do you mean?
It's structuring your way in a very healthy way that you would enjoy like a lot more if you weren't sick, but like that gives you, that forces you to build up this day where you just start working at 12, and like that's like almost a utopian way to live, right? If we could totally enjoy it, like if we allowed ourselves to totally enjoy life, then we would live like that, but we don't. So there needs to be a sickness like coming into and making us build up these structures that actually work for us.
Yeah. So yeah, you're totally right. I think if I wasn't ill, I would not permit myself these kind of things. I would think, no, of course, Sophie, you do stuff before 12. Of course you do shit. Like everybody does stuff before 12. Yeah. So it has given me the urgency, I think, and the permission for a lot of my lifestyle choices and a lot of the things I stand for. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah. And I my own personal journey with this is that I feel the pain very much of all the things I can't do. And it's not necessarily not accepting, but it's a lifelong grieving process. So I have a lot of moments of those where I cry for all the things that I can't do, even though my life is very rich and full, and anybody from the outside looking in will think, oh my God, that lady's thriving. There are a lot of things that I can't do.
Yeah.
And that is a pain that I've had to sit with for the past years. And also right now I have something that pretty much I almost need a wheelchair. And so I can't do a lot of things. Yeah. And to feel, and this is really the holding the polarities and the dualities. Yes, I'm on the verge of getting a wheelchair, and there's still so much beauty in life, and I can cry about that and sit here with you and enjoy my cats, enjoy my home and my partner, my friends in the city, right? Those things happen in the same day. So I think our brain often wants to think about things black and white, things are shit or things are amazing, when actually there's so much. I think there's a maturity in that to hold the polarities at the same time. I love this movie Inside Out, where if people know from Pixar, where eventually it ends up sadness and happy melting together. And that's really what I think life is about. The more I think we can hold the gray area or the coexistence of sadness or like really devastating things and joy, I think the richer life becomes. And so when I am sick on my couch, I don't just think, oh my God, fuck, I'm sick on my couch, I can't do anything. There's also a part of me like, okay, well, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm just going to put a blanket around myself. I'm going to order some really good food. I'm going to ask my man to massage my feet. I'm going to just really indulge in this moment and to never, like, I never want to bypass any of the experience, but to see if we can always bring in the joy as well.
Yeah. Yes, literally this blanket, donkeys, Netflix.
Exactly that.
Yeah. How does that, if I can go a bit more personal, and you just say, oh, I'm really not gonna answer that. How does that affect your future plans? Like, question one, structure. Question one, do you have plans for your future? Like, do you have an amount of income where you go like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be me 2022? Because 2022, I mean, look at the numbers, something's gonna happen in this year. So what's your plan? Like, what's your magic wish that's gonna happen? And how does this whole, like, you being so successful, you being, actually, I mean, if we were able to contain the money, we could just stop working for a year, right? If we would stop spoiling ourselves, we could. But how do you plan? Like, are you planning? Do you want to have a family? Like, do you trust your, do you feel like I want to find trust in my body before I start this? Is there any doctor recommendation that they say like, or you should definitely not get pregnant now, or not get pregnant, or your body's not gonna make it, or yeah.
Yeah, beautiful question. I trust time and I trust timing. And I know I'm going to have babies this life, and I would love to have them now. And I know now is not the right timing. And I trust time, and I trust that time is supporting me. And so, I mean, I'm 31 right now. I believe I have more than enough years to create this. Yeah, I trust the timing of life, the timing of life. And so, do I plan? I don't think so, because I have this ADHD thing, which makes it just completely impossible to think about what I want in a month, in a year, or even in an hour. What I do is that I very much feel what I'm ready for. So in terms of my business, in terms of money, I can just feel the next phase and feel that I'm ready for it. And I think I've always had a confidence in that I don't question that. I feel that I'm ready for a certain amount and for a certain type of business within half a year, and I know I will create that, because I can just feel the space. It's almost as if I could feel that there's a spaciousness in the room, and that it's just waiting for me to step into it. Or it's like a stage. I can feel the stage is slightly bigger, and it's just waiting for me to walk onto it. And whenever I want to do that, I can do that. And yeah, right now, all my plans got put on hold for 2 months, and I also trust that timing. Actually, though, it's been weirdly productive. It's been weirdly productive because there is a quality to silence, and to nothingness, and to quietness, and to slowing down, and to reevaluating. And I feel better about my business right now than I have in months. I feel very clear on where I want to go. And so this was weirdly a very productive 2 months, even though outside looking in, you would think, oh my God, this woman was in bed for 2 months. And so I trust timing. I trust time. And oh, hello. And I know, hey, you want to say hi?
Hello.
And I trust that things will come. And it's more a knowing. I know that I will have children. And so when we know, we also can afford to wait, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, beautiful. What's your magic wish for 2022?
What's my magic wish? I here's the thing. Like, I think when we bring the energy of when my body's better, I can travel the world and I can do all of these things. What I'm subtly doing is making my body wrong for what it is. I'm just saying, oh, you're holding me back because there's all these things I want to do and I can't because of you. I've never had magic wishes or things that I want to achieve in the next year, or I don't know. We'll see. I think I really enjoy not knowing.
Yeah.
I think not knowing is one of my favorite things. I love the anticipation of having no idea what's about to happen. I love that feeling because, again, I'm in trust. And it doesn't mean that everything's going to be fun. Absolutely not. But my life has been magical, and I have a deep, deep trust about that. And so, do I have magical plans for 2022? No.
No, not plans. No, because plans would be something that you're following, right? Where you have like, that's my north and I need to go there. No, magic wishing is about like something's going to present that to you in a way that you don't have to. No, I have like 3,000 and Chris Evans for this. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and I've never. It's interesting. It's cool to hear that how different we are in that. Yeah, I've never had them because maybe this is also a human design thing, but I feel really led, and I just get to hang back and things are going to happen and it'll become clear. And I have like a vague desire to write a book, but if that happens next year or in 5 years, I have no idea. It'll become clear in the moment because I won't be able to stop it.
Yeah, that's I released a book this year and one last year, and it's just, yeah, you sit down and something happens, and
yeah, it's just there.
Yeah, it's born. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that might also be the manifesto thing in me that
Mhm.
goes like, in this world, somebody needs to have visions, and that's you. So you might just want to start having visions. So yeah, that's an inner drive. And whatever I dream of is always like, it's happening. That's
Yeah, you're an incredible manifester.
it's really, it's a bit spooky though. Yeah. Oh, I talked about, we had this, and that's the last thing I'm gonna open up before I get to my wait, I need to, oh my god, no, I have too much. Is two okay? Two big questions?
Yeah,
And then
go for it.
like a few smaller ones. um how does the masculine support you? And I don't only mean your man, but I mean your man too. But how do you create like these masculine structures that hold up or show up in a way that you can't because of your body, because of how things how they are?
I really truly believe that the masculine in everything, in ourselves and our partners in the world, is in service. So it's listening and it's in service. So that means that the first thing is for me to express myself, for me to become honest and own what I need, what's real in me, what my, what my insecurities are, what my shadows are, what my desires are, all of that, to become really honest and really own it, you know? And from that, the masculine can serve. From that, he could say, okay, love, I see, like my one of my energies is that I take on way too much, right? That's also why I have this body probably, but I take on a lot of things. And the structure is almost like, okay, what boundaries do you actually need? And it's not to make you wrong, it's just to support you. So my boundary, for instance, is, even though I try to break it every day, is one meeting a day. And I try to break it every day. I'm like, oh no, fuck it, who cares? It's tomorrow. It will be fine. Right. I do that every day. But my inner masculine, the masculine energies in my life, is just like, I see you and I see the energy, I see the drive in you. I love you. And why don't we make an agreement together that we do one meeting a day, and you can challenge me every day. You can fight it every day, but let's just have that as an aim. And so as you can hear, the masculine, I think the way I perceive the masculine, it's not rigid, it's supportive. And so when I break a structure, I didn't do something wrong, it's just say, hey, this is something that we can try to live by. And when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's this whole thing of like, I commit to going to the gym, but if I don't go to the gym, something isn't wrong, right? I won't beat myself up. And I think a lot of us think masculine energies are rigid and pushy and punishing, things that we should be doing, and when we're not doing them, we did something wrong. And so that's really how I sit with masculine energy. I don't the way I've experienced in my life, I think is very different than how a lot of people are talking about. Like, my partner isn't necessarily always in the lead. He isn't always leading me. Of course, he would be exhausted if he would always be leading me. He's also a human being, right? But I would say that I think he's generally the energy that is kind of the structure. And so I love this example of, instead of him saying, I'm going to take you out for dinner, which would be a leading energy, he says, hey, Sophie, do you want pasta or Thai? And he just kind of structures the world for me. If he would just say, what do you want to eat? I would be a deer in headlights and be like, I don't know. Like, I'm overwhelmed. But when he tells me about Thai or pasta, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can feel that Thai. And so that, I think that's way more the energy that he brings to my life. It's a structuring, is helping kind of navigate the world for me, with me.
It's also a beautiful way of taking you as a generator, only being able to answer yes no questions. Like, if you ask me, do you want pasta or spaghetti, I will definitely want something else, because who are you to decide my choice? Don't take my freedom away. I'm a manifestor. So beautiful.
Yeah. So that, and that's a beautiful example what you're just talking about now. It's, again, what supports this unique person. And I love the structuring energy. It helps me relax. I do it in my business, but in my personal life, I love not having to think about everything, and for him to just at least limit it a little bit for me. That's just really nice. And it doesn't mean that he has to be that every day, and he isn't. But generally, that dynamic nourishes us both. And so and I think the other thing that he really offers, or that the masculine world offers, is just an ability to see you. You know, I love nothing more than when my man acknowledges what I do in my business. I love it when he just goes, I see what you did today. You're fucking good at what you do. Fuck, that's like the most delicious thing to hear. And it's actually, he's not acknowledging my masculine. He's not acknowledging just what I choose to spend my time on, what I stand for. And it's just those little things. I think that the masculine men or whatever has this amazing ability to see, to speak things into existence, almost to see you, to mirror you, to reflect you. There's not, I love it when masculine energy tells me, I just heard your voice break. You're trying to be cool, but I just heard your voice break. I love that. Because I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't even catch that. Okay, you caught me. Like, there's something about being seen and being acknowledged, and that dance is very nourishing to me too. And I think that's how I also, with my girlfriends, I'm very feminine around them, and they bring this energy all the time. You know, and that's really this why we play with feminine masculine energies, because it charges us, it nourishes us. Like for me, that I love like sitting on the back of the scooter of one of my girlfriends. It's like my favorite thing in the world is just sitting on the back of her scooter and just having her say like, okay, we're gonna go here now. I'm like, okay, great. Like
it's
that,
like
that's nourishing.
It's like being 10 years old. Like, where do you want to play next? Like, what do you want to do now? The whole world is us, and we don't have like time issues, and it's just so free. And so
this is actually beautiful when you asked about my wishes for 2022. I feel like I'm just on the back of a scooter and I'll just see where they want to take me next. And I love being in that energy. To me, that is just the most nourishing, and that is so opposite from where I came from. The strong and independent woman thing, the boss babe, that was the total opposite of this. Total in every way. Yeah. And I am a boss babe now, but I'm doing it in a very different way.
That's exactly the thing. I opened that one up by posting something about boss ladies and boss babe. I think I wrote something like, whenever I hear the word boss babe, somewhere the idea of a fulfilled relationship dies. Whenever I hear that, it's like, you say but well, like, people are not always like that trigger intelligent and put their stuff under saying, I'm so successful, I can do it on my, why would I need someone? It's not about needing or not needing someone, it's about being able to do it. But why would you wanna? Like, why if there's someone who can do it from out of their natural source, like out of their natural energy, not the made up I can do it pressure energy, which we all can do, man. We're all women of the 21st century. We can basically survive. That's not the issue here. The issue is that you have your essence energy and your cup gets filled by that. And why don't we just allow our cups to be filled by exactly what fills them and not what we want them to be filled by? It's like, if speaking to your girlfriends doesn't fill it, then don't do it. Like, if sitting on your couch fills it, then don't listen to the people saying you're just numbing yourself. What works for you is your truth. And all these boss babes being so, this deep loneliness just jumps into my face, and I can't name it because you don't want to cross boundaries, and exactly that something's going to explode if you do it, like, because the readiness is not there. And that's fine, that's absolutely fine with me. But it's so hard, like, to hold this energy of someone is so deeply unhappy with what they created. Like, they thought this would be fulfillment, but it's not. Successful business, what else do you need? 10K in a month, what else do you need? We've all had the moment where we thought 10K in a month, what else do I need? And then you have 10K a month and you realize what else you need. Like, if you really look at it honestly, like, there's always this wish for more. That's not ever a point where you say, okay, this is enough. Like, no, but what and why? Yeah.
I think this is a core thing of the feminine, is that she will always want more. She will always want more. You're thrive for money, have it, and you will always want more. for love. You will always want more. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't want it and you shouldn't go for it, but we get to really truly accept that we are insatiable. Like I make a lot of money, but yeah, I always want more money. And I get to, everybody does. And that my longing and my desire and my wanting is what makes this world go round. That sounds maybe very strange, but I think everything starts with the feminine that says, fuck, I want more. I want more of you. I want more love. I want more color in life. I want more this. I want more that. That is what makes the world go round. That's the opening almost that we all get to step into, but we have to, and this is really a big thing that the feminine has to work on. We have to get over this culture of modesty and starvation. It's not cool to starve yourself. Like I have a history of eating disorders, but we all so speak highly of fasting, intermittent fasting, not needing so much, not having material possessions, not being attached to your partner, not being high maintenance. We speak so highly of those things when actually I think the practice is to want it, to desire it, to say, I'm hungry. And to admit where you are hungry, because that is what's going to create a different life for you. Admit where you're hungry. And that doesn't mean that it's currently wrong. It just means you want more of that thing that already tastes so good. This doesn't mean that what now isn't enough. It's just, of course, you're hungry for more. Why wouldn't you want more of a thing that's amazing? Of course, we all want more of a thing that's amazing. And we're never going to be fulfilled. And so that journey is when you're going to have your entire life and have it, do it, be it.
Yeah. You have such a powerful way of speaking. I'm like, you definitely deserve that intro. Somebody give me a name when you enter a room. That's like,
Jason Derulo, I'll ask him.
That's awesome, right? If somebody should. Okay. What is the sentence that has been said to you that moved you most in your whole life? No pressure here.
A sentence, like words that somebody said to me.
Yeah.
What a question. I remember really distinctly reading the words amor fati, which means a love of fate, a love of our direction or of our fate in life, and not just a, what's it called? Not just a, I'll go with it then, but a true love of fate. And I think that's also what we talked about now. I think when, you and I, we could easily drown, I think, in the pain and the sorrow of what sometimes happens to us, I mean, two near-death experiences, that's no joke. I mean, we can easily drown in the victimization.
That's basically what I do in November. It's like I have my melancholy playlist and that's on, and I'm gonna cry every 5 minutes. I'm gonna start crying. That's happening.
Yeah. And I give myself space to be that, and to feel very sorry for myself, because I think it is sad, everything that's happened. And this comes back to what we were talking about. And at the same time, this true love of the cards we're being dealt. What if I could fall in love with the story I got to live this lifetime, and not make myself responsible for all the shit that happens to me? What if I can just love that, this is what my story is, and this is what I've been bestowed, and fall in love with that, actually fall in love with that story. I often, like, this is not a narcissistic thing, but I think I often, like, I'm sure many people do that. I think about the book I would write about my life story and how everybody would cry as they would read it. And everybody's story is like that. And so that must mean this amor fati, right? That must mean I can fall in love with my story, because I'm sure it's a really beautiful one, actually, and it is for everybody.
Yeah. I wrote that book, and I love when people have to cry.
Yeah, right? I'm moving. So we can feel that about ourselves.
Yeah. I'm moving the world. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
If you ever get married, what would your song be? Like the song that's played when you walk down the aisle or your first dance, I don't care. Like the Sophie of now.
I have no idea. This whole thing. This is my feminine. I'm just like, oh, whatever. Just let it happen to me.
I don't know. You choose one.
Yeah, you choose one. I'm pretty sure I'll love it.
Okay. The next one is easier. I have to ask this because I'm a nerd, so I should actually ask this before I ask people on the podcast because that's like a decisive thing, and there's a right or wrong answer. So, Marvel or DC?
Here's the bad thing. I barely watched either.
So that's actually a good thing because that's Switzerland. The answer is Switzerland. It's like neutral.
Yeah.
Nothing happening. Okay, very good.
I think I've just watched it to appease, no, not to appease, but just to join in the worlds of the men around me and be like, okay, show me what's cool in your world. But I barely remember it.
But you watched Aquaman.
I've watched Aquaman. Yes, of course I've watched Aquaman.
Nobody's ever give you that time of your life back.
No.
That's like the worst movie ever.
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
Pretty terrible. Okay, so the correct answer to this is Marvel, of course.
Okay, of course, yes.
If something happened in the world, and that's my last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens in the world and like social media, records, books, notes that you wrote is down and not to be brought up again. So nothing you ever said or recorded is ever to be found again. Is that first question, is that awful or a relief?
Oh, that would be awful. My words are my creative babies.
Okay. And you get the chance to give 3 sentences to the world that are now being recorded out of your core, like out of you. What do you want to give to people? What does everybody needs to read it? Like there's a new school system where everybody only has to read these 3 sentences of every human being in the world. And these 3 sentences, everybody's going to read and everybody's going to take and be moved and learn through them. What are your sentences? And no pressure.
Damn, girl, your questions. Jeez. Okay. What are like my 3 sentences that I want to give to this world?
It can be motivational, can also be like, I'm hungry, feed me, can also be.
That's a really hard question. I think my post on Sky Daddy was one of the most important things I wrote. And do I remember a sentence in that? Not particularly, but I think it came down to dropping to your knees and just dropping to your knees and just offering all of you and somewhere in there, I think there's some poetic beauty in just the screw you, I love you. Screw you, here I fucking hate you, I'm on my knees and I love you. And please, I need you. I don't know, there's some poetic beauty, I think, to that existential moment that we all experience in a lifetime, I think.
Beautiful. I think everybody in the world should have these sentences though. So screw you, I need you.
Yeah, exactly. Screw you, I need you, I miss you, come back. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
There's something that people can do to like get into your bubble. Like when they say, I'm not going to say if they say, but when they say Sophie moves me and I want to be in her bubble, what can they do?
I am not currently, but I will soon again be more active on social media. So Instagram is my main place. That's where all my writing lives. I also have my own podcast where I mostly interview men because I very much believe in bridging the conversation between men and women. And my podcast is also published on YouTube. So there's several places where you can see it or listen to it. But yeah, I love talking and writing.
What's the name of your podcast? Like the title?
Deeper with Sophie, of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Deeper with
Okay,
Sophie.
I'm just gonna link both, like to Spotify and to Instagram, and you have her here on Facebook. Yes, so people can leave.
Yeah.
Leave their attachment with you. What? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Svenja. This is so nice. It's so wonderful getting to know you like this.
Yeah. Beautiful. Let me know if you need the recordings. Of course, you're gonna get them. And everybody, if you have questions, you just put them. You probably already did. Put them in the comments, and we will see if we take time to answer them.
No, we'll definitely look at them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yeah.
Have the nicest day. See you soon.
Too. Bye.